Have you ever wondered what really happens behind the scenes when three huge stars share one of the most famous shows in television history? Most people expect drama, jealousy, and quiet fights that never make it to the camera. But when Jaclyn Smith spoke about Farrah Fawcett and those days on set, the truth was very different from what many people imagined. And you need to watch this story till the end, because what Jaclyn revealed was not a story of tension at all. It was a story of friendship, warmth, and a bond that stayed strong long after the cameras stopped rolling. That is what makes this so special. In a world where people love bad stories and behind-the-scenes gossip, Jaclyn gave everyone something much more rare. She gave people honesty, kindness, and a memory of Farrah that feels very real. Jaclyn Smith has lived long enough to see many stories come and go, and she knows how fast the public can turn simple moments into wild rumors. That is why when she talks about the past, people listen. She was there. She lived it. She shared that space with Farrah Fawcett at the height of a kind of fame that can change everything. And according to Jaclyn, the truth about Farrah on set was not that she was hard to be around or full of ego. It was the opposite. Jaclyn described Farrah as a true friend, someone who was happy for others, someone who did not treat friendship like a contest, and someone who brought heart into the room. That kind of truth hits harder than any headline, because it breaks the image people often create around beauty and fame. What makes this even more touching is the way Jaclyn described the feeling the cast shared once the show changed their lives. She made it clear that the sudden fame created a special bond between them. Life was no longer normal. They could not just walk around without being noticed. Everything became bigger, louder, and more public. But instead of turning against each other, they leaned into that shared experience. Jaclyn said they were like girls having fun, almost like college roommates finding their way together. That image says so much. It replaces the cold idea of competition with something softer and more human. It reminds us that before all the fame, they were still people trying to handle something huge together. And then there is Farrah herself, the woman who became an icon in the eyes of the world. People often remember her beauty first. They remember the look, the hair, the smile, the famous image. But Jaclyn's words show another side. She spoke about Farrah as someone funny, caring, and deeply real. Not just a star, but a person who showed up for the people she loved. Jaclyn remembered that Farrah was the first to visit her after she had her first child, and she could see how happy Farrah truly was for her. That is such a small detail, but it says everything. Real friendship is often seen in the small moments, not the big public ones. It is in who shows up, who celebrates with you, who makes you laugh when life changes. That is the Farrah Jaclyn wanted people to remember. What also stands out is that Jaclyn did not speak about Farrah in a flat or perfect way. She spoke about her with life and feeling. She remembered her humor. She remembered how Farrah could make a joke and lighten the moment. That matters because it makes the story feel real. It is easy to praise someone after they are gone in a way that sounds polished and distant. But Jaclyn's memories feel warm and personal. You can almost picture the laughter, the teasing, the simple comfort between friends who knew each other beyond the spotlight. That kind of memory does not come from a fake friendship. It comes from something lasting. And maybe the most moving part of all is how Jaclyn spoke about Farrah's strength later in life. She admired her courage, her spirit, and the way she stayed open even during painful times. She saw Farrah not just as a public star, but as someone who faced hard moments with heart. That adds even more depth to the story. It tells us that Jaclyn's respect for Farrah did not end with the show. In some ways, it grew even stronger. She saw someone who kept her humor, kept her spirit, and kept giving people something honest, even while facing deep pain. That kind of memory is powerful, because it is not built on image alone. It is built on character. If you enjoyed this script, make sure to like the video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more simple and engaging stories about the stars people still love to talk about.